Well, let me adjust this here a little bit. Put that in there. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Urban Libertarian here. And I know the damn memo. I know. Tell me about it. I just want to make this video to basically, I know I don't have a lot of viewers. If you're watching this, that's cool. But I wanted to make a video on something that no one's really even talking about. And the sad thing is there's a lot of people, there's some people with like obviously a lot more views than I am that are talking about this, but nobody's talking about how Carter Page was a FBI informant. He was a UCE. This dude worked for the FBI. When they tried to get the warrant to spy on this dude, they claimed he was just some random businessman when he was their own spy. Just destroys the whole narrative. I know if you're sick and tired of it, this should end the whole damn thing. It really should. Shout out to Tracy Beans. She's the one that turned me on to this, the concept. And I was listening to her, and I just searched. I Google searched Carter Page, UCE, FBI, and this is like one of the first articles I came up on. I guess it's from the Conservative Treehouse. Shout out to them. And then I guess it's a bunch of blogs and stuffs. It's from Last Refuge, but this is just amazing. Honestly, screw CBS Evening News, screw all of those, even Fox News, definitely CNN. They're not going to tell you anything that's true. So this whole article breaks down and essentially proves, I mean, if you've got any sense of a brain and you can just put a puzzle together, it proves that this dude, Carter Page, was actually working for the FBI at the time that the FBI claimed he was just some random Russian spy posing as a businessman. Amazing, and it uses the mainstream media and court documents to prove it. So I'm gonna read this for you. I know a lot of people sometimes, honestly, I don't really like reading articles myself. I like listening to them. So if you're listening to this, like, you know, you don't really have to watch this, but it's more for listening. But yeah, I'll just go through it. So the title is, in March 2016, Carter Page was an FBI employee. In October 2016, FBI told FISA court he's a spy. It's posted a couple days ago. In 2013, Carter Page was working as an undercover employee, or UCE, of the FBI, helping them to build a case against Evgeny Buryakov. In March 2016, Carter Page remained the informant pre-trial, leading to a pleading of guilty from Buryakov. So, pay attention to the dates, names, and descriptions. Sources: in 2013, the U.S. Department of Justice, Southern District of New York, announced an indictment against a Russian operative, Evgeny Buryakov. Link here. March 2016, Buryakov pleaded guilty. There's John Carlin. You'll see him in the following. Preet Bharara, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and John P. Carlin, Assistant Attorney General for National Security, announced that Evgeny Buryakov, a.k.a. Zhenya, pled guilty today to conspiracy to act in the United States as an agent of the Russian Federation without providing prior notice to the Attorney General. The FBI obtained the recordings after Soryushev attempted to recruit an FBI undercover employee, UC1, Carter Page, who was posing as an analyst from a New York-based energy company. In response to requests from Soryushev, UC1 provided Soryushev with binders containing purported industry analysis written by UC1, Carter Page, and supporting documentation relating to UC1's reports, as well as covertly placed recording devices. And whoops, sorry about that. In 2016, Reuters published an article based on the ongoing court case going into detail about court records and how the FBI built their case. Reuters also described the FBI UC1 undercover employee with strong detail. Here's the link, but we'll just go here. Don't have to link there. New York Reuters. The FBI eavesdropped on meetings involving Russian intelligence personnel in New York City, including a suspect spy posing as a trade representative, by hiding recorders and binders containing supposedly confidential information about the energy sector, U.S. prosecutor said. So they're even showing exactly, they're corroborating how he actually recorded it. The hours of covert recording from 2013 were disclosed in papers filed in Manhattan Federal Court Tuesday for Evgeny Buryakov, a Russian citizen who U.S. prosecutors say posed as a banker while participating in Cold War-style spy ring. According to prosecutors, in April 2012, Sporyashev met an undercover FBI employee posing as an analyst at a New York energy firm at an oil and gas industry conference. I'll just move on. In 2013, the FBI employee began providing Sporshev with binders containing purported industry analysis. He wrote supporting documents and covertly placed recording devices, prosecutors wrote. In April 2017, writing a story about Carter Page trying to enhance and infirm the Russian narrative, the New York Times outlined Page's connections to the Trump campaign. However, New York Times also references Page's prior connection to the Buryakov case. If you ignore the narrative, you discover the UCE1 description is Carter Page. Russian intelligence operatives tried in 2013 to recruit an American businessman, an eventual foreign policy advisor to the Trump campaign, who is now part of the FBI investigation into Russia's interference into the American election, according to federal court documents and a statement issued by the businessman. The businessman Carter Page met with one of 3 Russians who were eventually charged with being undeclared officers. Blah, blah, blah. The FBI interviewed Mr. Page in 2013 as part of an investigation of spying, but decided that he had not known the man as a spy, and the Bureau never accused Mr. Page of wrongdoing. The court documents say that Mr. Page, who founded an investment company in New York called Global Energy Capital, provided documents about the energy business to one of the Russians to record their conversations. The FBI inserted a listening device into binders that were passed into the Russian intelligence operatives. Blah, blah, blah. When you read the Times article in 2017 against the backdrop of the Reuters article 2016 and the DOJ release of 2016, it is transparently clear that Carter Page was the undercover employee of the FBI in the 2013 case, okay? So it's obvious. Excuse me. Take a drink. Carter Page was working for the FBI. Page was the analyst from a New York-based energy company who began providing Sporyashev with the binders. Hello. However, in 2017, the New York Times, using information from a former intelligence official, conflates the FBI-Page relationship. Heck, the New York Times tries to entirely change the relationship between Carter Page and the FBI. Why? Likely because on October 21st, 2016, the FBI claimed to a FISA court, thus the memo, to gain a Title I surveillance warrant that Carter Page was working on behalf of a foreign government, okay? So this is a huge deal, one of the biggest things. They're basically claiming that Carter Page is a spy for the Russian government, okay? But here's the problem. Carter Page was an FBI undercover employee in 2013 and remained the primary FBI witness through May of 2016 throughout the case. If Carter Page was working as a UCE, or an FBI undercover employee, responsible for the bust of a high-level Russian agent in 2013, and remained a UCE throughout the court case up to May of 2016, then how is it possible that on October 21st, 2016, Page is put under a FISA Title I surveillance warrant as an alleged Russian agent? Conclusion: he wasn't. The DOJ National Security Division and the FBI Counterintelligence Division knew he wasn't. The DOJ, NSD, and the FBI flat out lied. Now, go back to the March 2016 DOJ press release of the guilty pleading from Evgeny Buryakov, announced from the New York office. Preet Bharara, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and John P. Carlin, Assistant Attorney General for the National Security, announced, because FISA Title I surveillance authority against a U.S. citizen is so serious, the U.S. government, as I said, is calling him a spy. Only a few people are authorized to even apply for such surveillance warrants. One of the 4 people authorized to make such a filing is Assistant Attorney General, who is head of the National Security Division of the DOJ. That person is John P. Carlin. You saw his picture. The same John P. Carlin who, together with the FBI intelligence unit, conscripted Carter Page as an FBI undercover employee. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I got interrupted, so let me go back. So this is the same John P. Carlin who, together with the FBI counterintelligence unit, conscripted Carter Page as an FBI undercover employee, gains a guilty plea, then turns around 6 months later, accuses Page of being a Russian spy. Okay, so basically that's his like boss, right? The head boss has this guy being his agent, or he's working for him, and all of a sudden he's like, no, this dude's a spy. Why? Likely because the DOJ, NSD, and the FBI COINTEL needed to find a legal way to spy on the Trump campaign. The 2016 FISA Title I surveillance of former FBI employee Carter Page became that legal way. The insurance policy. This totally makes so much sense. In October of 2016, at approximately the same time the DOJ was making the FISA court filing against Page and successfully gaining the surveillance warrant, Assistant Attorney General John P. Carlin resigns as head of the DOJ NSD. Did Carlin resign in protest, or did Carlin resign knowing he had served a larger purpose? Oh, look at this picture here. The entire FISA Title I surveillance authority over Carter Page was cover, most likely retroactive cover for the DOJ and the FBI conducting surveillance on the Trump campaign. The DOJ National Security Division and the FBI Counterintelligence Unit didn't care about Page because to them, he was a useful tool. It wasn't Page they needed per se, they just needed someone, anyone, who had contact with the Trump campaign that they could apply the label foreign agent upon. That seems like the perfect guy. He's a total patsy, total fall guy, unknowingly too. The DOJ FBI just needed someone they could position to gain the FISA Title I surveillance approval that would retroactively make all prior campaign surveillance legal, who Carter Page was simply checked the right boxes. Yep, perfect. Page wasn't a plant or a participant, he was a useful body upon which they could attach a label to justify their surveillance and monitoring, nothing more. Clear enough? Carter Page testified to the House Intelligence Committee that the DOJ FBI officials leaked his identity, his role in the Buryakov case, to the media. This is secondary and direct confirmation from Page himself that he was indeed the FBI UCE1 that they were talking about. Okay, makes so much sense. And then there's just an excerpt from it. Okay. And this guy's been saying the whole thing, the whole time that he's just been set up, you know. And then there's a great grid with Hillary. If you're listening to this, there's Hillary in the middle, and you got, it's just a circle of corruption around her with lightning bolts in D.C. in the background. Obama's on the top, Lynch is on the left, Comey's on the right. Then we go down to McCabe, Baker, Priestap. Then down to Lynch, we got Sally Yates, Orr, Carlin. Then we got, of course, the two lovers, Lisa Page, Peter Stork, Fusion GPS, Simpson Steele, Clinton, love the picture, Jacoby Orr. Yeah, how DNC and Fusion GPS are basically working together. Then you've got this picture here. I mean, wow. I'm convinced. So, you know, when I've been seeing these reports, you know, in the media, and it's just so, I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know. I mean, I was watching late night television, and they're just making jokes. Oh, the memos and stats. You know, how about this? If you ever want to like just convince somebody of how serious this is, just switch all the names. Be like, hey, look, imagine that, you know, just switch Trump and Hillary. Just imagine that Donald Trump was, you know, his wife was the president, and then he meets with Loretta Lynch, who's investigating Hillary, you know, on the tarmac, right? And then Trump deleted and bitted a whole bunch of emails, right? Smashing phones with hammers, right? Are you kidding me? That everybody be getting uproar, you know? It's just, you know, the media does a good job. They do their job as a propaganda. They're not there to like give you real information. Come on. That's why it's sad. There's my stupid little channel here, and blogs like this, and people like Tracy Beans and Lionel, and you know, Styx. Love that dude. Man, I mean, just so many more people, just YouTubers and dudes in their room. We are more credible than all of the evening news reports. I mean, those are just, oh my God, those are useless. It's just propaganda. It's worse. The more that kind of news you watch, just the more uninformed. They omit things. Like this whole Carter Page revelation. Like, I thought growing up that reporters, this is what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to gather the information. You're supposed to report. That's not what they do anymore. Their job is just to cover and shield for, these horrible actors that are trying to screw our country over in the whole world. It's amazing. It's really amazing. I mean, I thought that, last couple years ago, right, the media was all against, they hated cops. Now they love cops. It's so strange. It doesn't make sense, and people have been pointing this out. And the same thing with that Tom Hanks movie about the Washington Post and the Pentagon Papers. Wow, they were fighting the government. They were so brave, taking on the FBI, yada, yada, or the State Department, whatever it was in the movie. And they leaked the documents and the people found out. Now, I mean, you had the media telling you, oh, you just don't, they don't want to know the truth. They don't want you to know it. I remember, was it on CNN, that dumbass, that one guy, oh God, the Cuomo's kid, right? He's like, oh, I forgot what was WikiLeaks. He's like, oh, you can't remember, it's illegal for you to look at them, but we can look at it, so we're looking at them for you. I mean, oh my goodness. And then the whole thing, are you kidding? Like, just use your brain. Like, just think about it. Like, the real Russian collusion was with the DNC and the Hillary campaign and Obama and all of those people. They were the ones. They were working with a foreign agent. Christopher Steele's a foreign agent. He was getting his information from Russian agents. Are you kidding me? And Trump is the person colluding? Just please, please. I know Trump's funny looking. Yeah, Cheeto Face, whatever. Get it out of your system. It's funny, but even if you don't like the guy, just reverse everything. And then where would you be thinking? You got to get that Trump derangement syndrome out of your head. It's like drunk goggles. Trump derangement syndrome is like truth goggle, like beer goggles when you put them on, a really nasty looking girl or dude, if that's the way you swing and you're a dude, right? And you put your drunk goggles on, you're like, okay. It distorts you from the reality. The same thing. When you become so biased and you just hate somebody, you'll believe anything, And then the media, it's so easy to manipulate you. And that's all it is one giant conspiracy or one giant propaganda and conspiracy. I mean, it's just the truth's out there. It's right there. I found it. All these people are finding it. What the hell is the media going to do? They just got to double, triple, quadruple, a bajillion down and just completely make a false reality where you're on another planet. I mean, it's just not even, I mean, the media, the mainstream media and everything's been so far disconnected from reality for God knows how long, like what's really going on. It's so far out there. But yeah, thanks for listening to me rant at the end. So whenever you see anything about Carter Page, like my point is getting with this, with the Carter Page stories, is that when I was doing like searches for the news, it was just basically a lot of stories were like, how could he be good with Russia? And then it didn't make sense. They were like, if they did their jobs, they would be like, oh wow, they would be pointing this stuff out that this person pointed out, that other people are pointing out. But instead, they're just trying to discredit this guy and just confuse you, because it's pretty confusing, But they thought they'd get away with it, and they didn't. And now they're tanking the stock market. Just, I don't know. It's crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.